Cause poor blood flow and nerve damage, making your feet numb, tingly, or painful. You might not notice injuries or sores, leading to infections that might not heal well, and sometimes requiring amputation. To prevent these problems, keep your blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol levels under control. Don't smoke, eat healthy foods, stay active, and take your medications as prescribed. Every day, check your feet for cuts, sores, blisters, calluses, corns, swelling, redness, or any other skin or toenail problems. Wash your feet with warm, not hot, soapy water and dry them completely. Use lotion on the tops and bottoms of your feet, but not between your toes to avoid infections. Don't go barefoot even inside to reduce the risk of injury. If your feet are numb, avoid heating pads or electric blankets. Use socks, slippers, or non-electric blankets instead. Wear comfortable shoes and socks that fit well and check inside your shoes for sharp objects. Trim your toenails straight across weekly to avoid ingrown toenails and infections. If you can't see or reach your feet, have a healthcare professional trim your nails. See your doctor if you notice any skin sores, thick yellow toenails, ingrown toenails, pain or loss of feeling, changes in foot shape, dry cracked skin, fungal infections between your toes, or pain and cramping in your buttocks and legs while exercising. Did you know that diabetes can lead to serious foot problems, including the risk?
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something really serious, a complication of diabetes that affects millions of people all over the world, the diabetic foot ulcer.
So, get ready for this number. 25%, up to a quarter, 1 in 4, of all people with diabetes will develop a foot ulcer at some point in their lives. That is a truly staggering figure and a massive health challenge.
But here's the thing, and this is the most important part of this whole story. What if this devastating complication is actually highly preventable? Because it is. And understanding why these ulcers happen, well, that's your first and your best line of defense.
All right, so let's dig in. We're calling this a preventable catastrophe for a very good reason, and you're about to see why.
So if you look at the globe, the average rate for diabetic foot ulcers is about 6.3%. But check this out. It is not spread out evenly at all. Here in North America, that number jumps to a whopping 13%. That's more than double the global average. Now, the reasons for that are complicated. It's a mix of things like diet, lifestyle, and even how our healthcare systems work. So what exactly is a diabetic foot ulcer? Well, at its most basic level, it's an open sore. It's a breakdown of the skin that exposes all the layers underneath. And the crazy part? The thing that usually kicks it all off is something incredibly small. A tiny cut, a blister from new shoes, a scrape you wouldn't even think twice about. Okay, so how on earth does a little scrape blow up into a massive medical crisis? It all comes down to what you could call the foot's silent breakdown. It's really a perfect storm of underlying issues. And here are the three main culprits in that storm. First, you've got peripheral neuropathy. That's just a fancy term for nerve damage, but what it means is that the alarm system in your foot gets switched off. You literally can't feel pain. Second, there's peripheral artery disease, which messes up your blood flow and slows healing down to a crawl. And then the third punch is that high blood sugar weakens your immune system, making it way harder to fight off any infections that try to take hold. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. A healthy foot can protect itself. It feels an injury, it sends a pain signal, and it kicks off a strong healing process. But a foot at risk from diabetes, it's a totally different world. Injuries go completely unnoticed. Healing is stalled because the blood flow just isn't there. And even the skin itself becomes dry and cracks, which is like opening up little doors for infection to just walk right in. So with that perfect storm of vulnerabilities in place, let's look at how a tiny, unnoticed injury can escalate into a full-blown crisis. And this can happen frighteningly fast. You know, the progression here is tragically predictable. It starts with a foot that's just considered high risk. Then an open sore, an ulcer, develops. Soon after, it gets infected. If that's not treated aggressively, the tissue can actually start to die, which is called necrosis. And from there, amputation might be the only option left to save the person's life. And just listen to this quote, because it really hammers home the urgency. We're not talking about a slow process that takes weeks. It says these infections can become life-threatening within hours. Hours. This is why catching it early isn't just a good idea. It is absolutely everything. Okay, So that's the crisis. How do we fight back? Well, the first thing to understand is that this isn't a solo mission. You can't handle this alone. Successfully managing an ulcer requires a whole strategy and a dedicated team of experts. The core of the treatment, the management toolkit, if you will, involves a few key things. You have to clean the wounds of any unhealthy tissue. That's called debridement. Then you absolutely have to take all pressure off of that area. That's called offloading. At the same time, you're fighting the infection with antibiotics, you're managing the blood sugar to help the body heal, and you're working to improve circulation. And who does all this? A whole team. You need a podiatrist, the foot specialist, a vascular surgeon for circulation, an endocrinologist for the diabetes itself, infectious disease specialists, wound care nurses. Everyone has to work together. That's the only way to heal these complex wounds. But as important as all that treatment is, the most powerful strategy, the real game changer, is preventing the ulcer from ever even forming. This is where patients have an incredible amount of power. And it all starts with this simple daily habit. Check your feet. Every single day. You're looking for anything: cuts, blisters, redness, swelling. Use a mirror if you have to, or ask a family member for help. Catching something early is your best defense, bar none. Next up, protect your feet. Always wear well-fitting shoes and socks. And never, ever, ever walk barefoot, not even inside your own house. Remember, with nerve damage, you might step on something and not even feel it, and that right there can be the start of a very serious problem. Now this is fundamental. It gets right to the root cause of the problem. Managing your blood sugar, keeping your glucose in your target range, it is the single most important thing you can do. It protects your nerves, it keeps your blood vessels healthy, it directly attacks the core issues that lead to foot problems. And finally, a critical one: avoid smoking. Smoking is just devastating for your circulation. It literally clamps down on your blood vessels, choking off the blood supply to your feet. It drastically reduces your body's ability to heal and can turn a tiny problem into a catastrophe. So, we end on this question. When it comes to diabetic foot health, it's not about some grand sweeping gesture. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day. They are what make all the difference. So, what's the one step you can take for your health today?